Welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes, presented by Astrology Hub. This is your place to discover how each zodiac sign can work with this week's astrology. I am your host, Jamie Magee, an astrologer, author, and a member of the production team here at Astrology Hub, and I am really excited to dive into this week's astrology with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes. Today, we're going to be talking about the astrology for January 7th through the 13th and how each of the zodiac signs can work with this energy. Before we dive into the signs, let's take a quick look at the overall energy that we're all going to be experiencing. If I had a theme to give this week, I think I would call it Envision or Re-Envision, because that's exactly what you're going to have the opportunity to do. We are at a quarter moon phase, which could feel a little angsty or edgy. In other words, basically all the intentions that you set last week or as you walked into 2022 are now going to have a reason to activate, because sometimes it's easier to dream it than to put the dream in action. And that's the process that you're going through this week. So if anything nudges you, I want you to ask yourself, is this reminding me or telling me that there is a reason why I set these intentions? And yes, I need to follow through with them. So you guys may feel that going into the weekend, but as the week goes through, we have some really beautiful energy that is setting up some brand new cycles, like a brand new 18-month cycle. But at the same time, it's asking us, or is it going to, you have the opportunity to think back to 4 years ago or 8 years ago in your life. There is a familiar theme. Now, the planets that are giving you this familiar theme are the Sun and Venus. Now, this is overall a good energy because it has a lot of bright lights, renewal, and love, and things that we value. Now, nothing is perfect. With every light, there is a shadow. So I don't want to emphasize the greatness of this energy, because for some of us, we are going to have to work to find it. And when we do find it, we are going to go through an adjustment phase in the next few weeks, trying to hone in on this. And if you look at the long range cycle this is starting, you understand that there's going to be a flow, an ebb and flow of adjust and readjust, but the theme is going to be the same. And what I love about where this energy is it's coming into a place of our life that's already been through a lot. Like, it's been through a lot of expansion, deconstruction, reconstruction, holding on to the old as you build the new. So you're kind of going through, we're at the end, at this precipice where we can see the new horizon. And if you can see it, then you can reach it. Or if you can feel it, you can reach it. And another great energy that's coming in this week will allow you to see where you're ready to expand and grow in a new way. It's almost as if a dream is going to be revitalized, or there's going to be new life or new reason to expand it. And you're going to be able to see that this week. Now, at the same time, along with that, okay, I need to take action on this. You may feel a little bit of a hesitation or angst, or you may feel like you're manipulating yourself, or you're a little twisted. I'm not really sure that I can do that. I'm not sure I want to chase that dream, or I want to work through that theme again in my life, which is all fine. But I think when you look at this in your life, you're going to understand that any conflict or any edge that's coming your way is actually like a personal trainer, and it's asking you to look at all the little details that are going to help you make the most of this theme that is coming into play for each of you. I like to call them mile marker events, because it's almost like you remember the mile marker, you remember the theme of everything that went on at that time in your life. Like, think back to 2013, 4 and 8 year increments, and you can remember everything you enjoyed about it, but you can also remember the opportunities that you left on the table. Like, where if you had done something differently, you would have been able to take this great momentum and expand it out in an even beautiful, broader way than with the way that it did last time. So I think it's a great time to re-envision and also envision as we move forward. Okay, so before we dive into this, to each of the zodiac signs, I want to remind you to listen to both your sun sign and your rising sign, if you know your rising sign. Now, if you know your rising sign, if you do not know your rising sign, but you know your time of birth, you can go to astrologyhub.com/charts, and you can pull up your chart, and it'll help you discover your rising sign. The rising sign is going to give you a little bit more detail about exactly the area or the themes of your life that are super highlighted, but so will your sun. It's just a different element. And when you read both, you're able to get a more encompassing view of what's coming. And that's always fun, right? Okay, so we are going to start off with Capricorn. Capricorn, this is your birthday month. And I feel like this energy this week may feel a little bit more potent. You're one of the signs that are going to feel it a little bit more strongly than others. And it's because of where it's happening in your life. Now, first of all, Capricorn, you've been going through a lot over the last few years, and I don't have to tell you that. It may feel like your identity, your partnerships, your home, your career, everything's been up for change and it's been up for restructuring. And that's a little difficult when you kind of like the structures that you had in the first place, or you were building on something that you thought was sustainable, and all of a sudden it's not sustainable and you've been asked to rebuild it in a certain way. And that can be frustrating. What's great about this week is that you're going to kind of see where that everything that you've been going through, like, I don't want to say the purpose behind it, but you're definitely going to see a new horizon, a new path. It's like, I envision it as like the storm is right behind you, but you still see everything that the storm has created around you. You still see the transition, you see the work, you see what you're going to have to do to accomplish the next mountain. But you remember this energy. You remember when the same familiar theme and drive came up in your life. And I think if you take some time to reflect on this, and you're going to understand opportunities or find ways that you can show up in your partnerships and your home work-life balance to help you become the person that you want to be as you embark on this new year, and you really work with this energy that's asking you to transform and almost level up in a new way. Now, if you had any something else, this like compassion where your eyes are going to be cast forward and you're going to see like, I'm ready to expand here. This could hit very locally for you. It could be around your siblings, brothers and sisters. I'm sure most of you or some of you probably spent some time with them over the holidays. It could also be around your local community, like where you go to the grocery store, the schools, the bank, everything local. Like, it's almost like you're going to have this beautiful compassion or sympathy for this area of your life. You're going to remember, like, I really love this about this. I really love the voice I had. I loved what I learned here. And I loved how what I learned, I could dive in a little bit deeper and expand in a new way. It's almost like you're looking for your voice and you're finding it through the experiences that you're having every day. So I'm excited for you there. And I'm excited that a lot of you are going to be speaking with some compassion and some depth that are really going to reach really far, not only in your community, but out into the broader world. Now, if you have a little bit of an angsty kind of feeling this week, it may be coming from deep within. Like, some of you may not even notice it because it's going to be just like, why am I triggered by this? Why do I feel this way? And it's like on a subconscious level, you're afraid, or you're wondering, am I allowed to say what I want to say? Am I allowed to expand and change in this way? Like, it's not the same world that it was 4 years ago or 8 years ago. I'm a completely different person. And you are correct on all check boxes. Yes, it's a different world. But I do not think that your fear should hold your words back. I think you should speak forcefully. I think speaking with compassion is going to be very empowering for you. But yes, there is a way to make sure that you're being mindful of those around you, and how these words can be healing and not destructive. That's going to be like a little bit of a balance. But I think if you do some inner work, you're going to find the right answer and how to communicate this way. Okay, Aquarius. Now, Aquarius, this is a very interesting time of year for you in general, where the rest of the world seems to be embarking out on a new year. You almost feel a little bit reflective, and you should, because this is the month before your birthday. So you're in the state of mind where you're remembering everything that you have been through and what you're ready to go through now. So where this energy is shining for you, like this in the past couple of years, internally or like spiritually, you may have been having some battles like that no one even knew about, that you may not even be completely conscious of because they've been so deep inside. Some of you could have picked up habits or dropped habits. You could have overcommitted or undercommitted to communities that you were around. There's a lot of things that have been going on underneath the surface. And then this week you feel that light come in, or that acknowledgement, or like, this is why you felt this way. And now what do you want to do about it? Is there a brand new habit that's going to be healthy for you to pick up? Is there something that you can release? Is this community that you've been partnering with now going to help you see a new way to expand out into the world? And I think a lot of Aquariuses are shifting what is valuable to you. What is a resource that you consider? And now this could be materialistic, it could be emotional, it could be a lot of things, but what was important to you may have shifted recently. And I think it's great to lean into that, because those resources, as soon as you give your attention to like, this is valuable to me, you're going to attract it into your life in a new way, and like in an expansive way as we move into the spring. So really notice where your compassion leads, like where where your heart goes, you're going to find ways to expand that really soon. Now, if you have a nag or like of something that's kind of pulls you back or, and like, I don't want to say antagonizes you, but it could come from like an old dream, a dream that you had, because you're like, in your mind, you're like, okay, well, I'm ready to shift into this new thing. And if I shift into this new thing and this is now valuable to me, then who am I? And does this dream still fit? And the dream may not still fit, but a new one is forming. And when that new dream forms, the new friends and the community and the society that you want to be a part of is also going to form around you. Like life is not a vacuum, like where there's something leaves, something immediately kind of comes into that place. So there's not going to be that absence. So I encourage you to work with the new dream. Like look for your new dream, look for how you can drive it forward in an expansive way, and really hone in on what's valuable to you right now, Aquarius, because that's going to help you plan your year forward. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, I'm really excited about this week for you because I feel like in the past couple of years, you may have felt really constricted on your creative side or how you wanted to dream or grow. And even if you are not a creative Pisces, which is entirely possible, there's been something where you've been wanting to grow, like, but you felt like you couldn't grow. Like there was all these rules or regulations that was saying, no, you have to change, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then this week, you're going to see that though you've been a little bit through like a personal trainer or a little workout in this area of your life, that it had a purpose and it had a reason. And all of a sudden, inspiration is going to flood in a new way. You are going to feel inspired to do something. And it could be to kind of dig up an old dream and expand on it. It could be that you understand why that dream didn't work because now the muses are singing to you and you have all this enlightenment and you know where you're going to go with this path. And that's super exciting because this means that your passions are in flow and that you have a way to kind of set up a new, I don't know. Like I'm seeing so much creativity and so much excitement coming from Pisces. I don't even know how to completely formulate it into words for you. And what this is going to do when you're living your dream is it's going to change how you emerge into the world. So this week, I think you'll find ways to look at yourself with a compassion and an excitement. Like I'm ready to expand and grow what's deep inside of me. So there's a preview show of what's coming for you as the spring unfolds. Now, if you have a little bit of a hitch this week or any kind of angst that you're dealing with, it may come from a current career that you have now or an authority figure or a parent, like depending on how old you are. And they may be, and you know, they may be saying, wait a minute, you know, if you trace that dream, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to get all the I's dotted and T's crossed, etc. And I think it's important to listen to any advice that you get in that way, but I don't think that advice is meant to hold you back. So yeah, just make out your plan and figure out how you can still be the person that you're known or be the most authentic version of you that the world knows and still carry this dream. So yeah, definitely do some reflecting and revising, Pisces. I love how this creativity is going to come to life for you. It's going to be a very creative year and expansive for you in 2022. Okay, Aries, I do not have to tell you that you have had a tremendous amount of focus on your career recently. Like it's been extensive and it's been a work-life kind of balance, your community. Am I fitting in the right way? Am I saying the right thing? It's almost like this week that you're going to get a nod from an authority figure that you may not expect to get a nod from. You may think that this person was just always so hard on you and didn't respect you or didn't think that you had what it takes. And they're going to be like, yeah, they've got what it takes. I really respect them and like working with them. Like that's one of the ways this energy can manifest. I think even if you work for yourself, it could be a client thing. It could be a nod of appreciation, or you may see something coming into your view that's like, yes, you've been doing a fantastic job. And yeah, let's go and expand. Let's make this shine. Let's add some passion to your career and get it to where you want it to be. So I'm excited about the career opportunities and what this means for your home work-life balance, Aries, because it is going to be shifting, especially in the first part of 2022. Now, this expansive energy is going to ask you to have a little bit of compassion internally. Like you may be feeling like almost connected to like a higher source or something that's bigger than you that has been guiding you. And you're like, wow, I see how you were leading me in that direction. And you may also be inspired by this leg up to, you know, drop bad habits or pick up new habits or connect in with your community in a different way. So your work-life daily balance feels more natural and more ritualistic to you. I do see that some of your work life is going to be shifting a little bit maybe more like, it's almost like you knew it was coming, but now that it's here, it felt like it came suddenly to you, Aries. But it's going to be great when you get into the flow of this energy. Now, if you have like a little bit of a reality check, or like, I don't know if this is going to work, or like a hitch holding you back, it is going to come from like your dreams or your community. People, I mean, just to be, I could even see some of you like being like, you've been neck to neck or hooked shoulder to shoulder working on someone with this, but you're the one that gets the promotion, and you're feeling like a little guilty because you want to take everybody with you, but not everyone is on the same level as you, Aries. So that's something to consider. And if that's not the case, it could just be around your dream or your friends or your community. Does this take you into a new community? Does it take you into a new area that you're around? And the answer very well could be yes. And also the answer are there is also an underlying component that you are going to revise as you move forward. But I do not think it can hold you back. I love what it looks like, your career, and how this is going to help your home life in the very near future, Aries. So have fun re-envisioning and envisioning that. Taurus. Okay, Taurus, I think for the last, well, I don't have to think. I know that most of you for the last few years have been kind of going through this back and forth energy where you were trying to like, you felt like you're in transition. You knew you're working on like this intimate knowledge of something. It could be locally or expansive, and you were specializing in something. You were trying to figure out where you stood with things, what your convictions were, if they still existed. If you were trying to transform into something else, but you're not ready to go out on the stage. You're in this like little space between here and there. This week, I feel like you're going to get a nod or a lot of positive energy shining on this expansive conviction kind of side, like your beliefs. I would not, if you are a teacher, I would invite in new students. If you are a student, I would look for new teachers. There is a lot of expansive, beautiful energy that's coming into play for you in this area of your life. And when you latch on to this one little specialized technique and you dive deeper, you're going to open a door, and you're going to figure out that this door leads into like a whole new universe of knowledge that you didn't even know was there. You thought you were just interested in a topic, and you didn't realize how deep the topic went. It's almost like astrology, diving into a different avenue of astrology and understanding that there's just legions and like so much knowledge hidden behind every door that you open. I think if you have any kind of reality check or something that's wanting to hold you back, it may come from you may not feel like you're completely ready for this. Like you're going through this transformational phase where you are still working on like this is who I am and where I'm going. And that's all true. But but going through this door and figuring out how you can expand is part of the transformation. Like it's literally the next step. So you're kind of walking down the path that you're already supposed to be on. And this path that you're on is going to help you expand your community and your work in your community and your dreams and how you connect with those around you in new ways too. So that's another reason why teachers and students, and this doesn't have to be necessarily in one educational based thing. You could be a teacher or a student in any field. And I feel like that's kind of coming up for Tauruses. You're looking for like a breakthrough way to communicate and set down some really solid foundation. So I'm excited to see what you guys do with that. All right, Gemini. Now, Gemini, for the last couple of years, you've been going through some very deep transformational phases of your life, which is not exactly fun because every piece of knowledge that you have, every connection you have, every person you have, it's part of you, and you really don't want to burn it down or cut it down or do anything. And I would never suggest burning a bridge to anyone, but I do think we could put some caution tape over it or be back soon, gone fishing kind of sign on it. And that's kind of what you've been going through. Like you don't want to let go of something because you're not really sure that what's on the other side of that. And you know that this is valuable to you in some way. This week, you're going to see why you're going through the transformation. Like there's this beautiful light that's going to shine on it. It's going to be like, okay, you went through all that. And because you went through that, you're right here. Isn't that great? And I see a lot of you getting excited about the transformation that you're going to be going through, which is great. Now, this could also have to do with some real estate or homes or merging with someone so you can you have the finances and the support that you need to launch a new career, because a career is going to be really big for you this month, or actually this year, Gemini. You're going to see a lot of expansive growth that's going to be taking place up there in how you're known in the world. So it kind of flows really well for you, Gemini. You're in a process of transformation. You're going to figure out who you want to merge with, how you want to merge, and how this is going to work for your long term, and it's going to impact your career. Now, if you had a reality check or something pulling you back, it would probably be coming from a partnership that you already have. The partner may not be sure that they're ready to merge the way that you want to, and they may not be, but that doesn't mean that you can't, like, they can't still be in your life, or there's not a transition that can't be made or a revision that can't be made. You also could be looking for the right partners. You're not really sure if you want to be independent or how many partners that you need. So just kind of work with that and focus on where you're going. As long as you focus on where you're going, you're going to find the right answers, and know that you don't have to leave anyone behind, but they may not be in your life in the same capacity that you're used to them being in every day. But that's part of growth. It's like an evolutionary process that you're going through. But they're always with you in any kind of capacity. Everything that they taught you and every memory, you walk with them. Okay, Cancers, for you guys this month, and especially this week, well, all around the board, Cancers, relationships have been up for you, and partnerships. You've been working on, deconstructing, reconstructing, expanding, transformation, everything in partnerships. And it may feel like every partnership in your life is going through that, and that can feel a little disoriented. But this week, you're going to have like this energy kind of come in and set up a new chapter or set up a new stage. And it's almost like everything that you've learned is now going to play in to this new beginning that's coming up. So I do strongly encourage you to reflect on the last time these themes showed up for you, because when they show up in your partnerships, they show up in how you're known in your career. They show up in your home life. They show up in your identity, because sometimes we may be identified by the partnerships that we're in. Consider when you've been here before. It could be completely new faces and new situations, but you've been here before. And pick up any opportunities that you left on the table and take all the knowledge that you've learned in this area of your life over the last couple of years and apply it. And I think you're going to be unstoppable with these partnerships. And these partnerships are going to help you expand and grow in ways that you can't even imagine right now. Like, you're going to go through like a specialized knowledge, open doors, new horizons. That's where like you get to kind of see down the road this week. And that's where that is, like new horizons. Now, any kind of reality check that comes from you or any nagging feeling may come from what you do every day. Even though you're great at initiating change, Cancer, sometimes going through the change could be like, it can almost feel like a train going from one track to another. It's a little bobbly. And your day-to-day life or your health or pets or someone in your day-to-day life might be going, wait a minute, you're going to get in a partnership with them and you're going to go where? And they may be putting some hesitation inside of you. And it may not even be someone external. It could be internal. Like, you have this voice in your head, like, wait a minute, we just got everything right here. And you're going to shift this. And shift is part of the game. Shift is part of the growth and the change. And, I wouldn't ignore any red flags, but I would use them to kind of plan what forward, because you will be revising and recommunicating things in certain areas of this area of your life in the next couple of weeks. But overall, I'm really happy that you have like this soothing cream kind of going over your relationships and where they're going to expand out into the world for you. Super exciting. Okay, Leos, you guys have been going through so much at home, like throughout the fall and going into this winter, early winter months, and just your work-life balance. Like, not only your work-life balance, but what you do every day. So some of you could be feeling like a little bit overwhelmed, or burdened. It just feels heavy because you have all this love and this passion, but you've kind of been in this rigor of like having to do things over and over that maybe did not bring you the same love or joy that you wanted them to bring. And this could have been impacting your health. It could have, some of you could have had some trouble with your pets. This week, I think you're going to have a revitalization or an energy kind of flowing through what you do every day, through your work, through your ritual, and how you connect with those people in your life. It's a great time to start new health routines, new diets. It's a great time to just like infuse the passion back into your day-to-day life and see how that will impact you, not only in your everyday life, but like that private part of your life, the spirituality that helps drive the rest of your life. Because once you're okay deep inside, then your heart can go out and conquer the rest of the world. Now, I think a lot of you are going to be doing a lot of expansive things around merging in 2022. It's almost if there's real estate or any kind of money or anything that you're trying to kind of go into partnership with. 2022 has the opportunity for this. I think another thing that is really great about this is that it's almost like you're excited to transform. You're excited to figure out what happens when you go through the transformation. You know who you are today, you know what you've been through, and you can't wait to see what's on the other side of that. And I share that excitement with you. So hold on to that, because that's where the expansive nature and dream is sitting for you right now. And it can fall under a lot of different categories and a lot of different Leo's lives. Now, if you have a reality check coming from you, it might be around your children or a love affair or something that you've already created, like you're a baby, something that would not exist unless you existed, like an entrepreneurship thing. And it could be that you're trying to figure out how to carry this in through this process with you. And I will say that what we love and what we're passionate about, and I don't have to tell you this, Leo, is one of the most precious things in our life. So any kind of red flag here that would say, okay, you're overcommitting here, or this transition is going to take you too far in this direction, I would consider it when it comes to the things that are just absolutely precious. But I wouldn't consider closing the door on transformation and expansion for things that for every passion in my life. And I guess I'm having trouble wording this. Obviously, there's some things that are undeniable have to come first, and there's some things that undeniably are going to have to transform with you to go forward. And so this week you have the mission of diversifying what those are as you kind of set down and make your intentions going forward. But overall, I'm excited that you're excited about transformation, and I'm excited to see how all of you can merge and grow in new ways as we step into 2022. Okay, Virgos, for you guys, you've been going through a lot in your life around, what you love and what you're passionate about. Now, for some of you, this could be love affairs. It could be with your children. It could be with any kind of creative thing or getting something launched off the ground out into the world, a dream. You've been going through a lot. I know I keep saying that, but you have been. This week, you have this beautiful light that's kind of coming in this area, and you're going to see why. You're going to have inspiration flooding through you, and you're going to see, like, it's almost like all of a sudden the pattern connects for you in a way that you couldn't imagine before. But now you see it. Now you have the pieces, and you're on fire with this muse to go forward. So how great is that? I like to call this section of your chart or your life like your immortality, because you live through what you create, and you're going to experience that in like multitude. Like, I can't even, I'm looking for the word to express an expansive way, but this is also going to help you see how this is going to play into your partnerships, like your one-on-one partnerships. I do think this could be a little bit romantic. It could also be partnerships that are just going to help you take these creative natures that are coming forth, this love and passion, and grow it. Like, you almost need a partner to help you balance it out. And that partner is going to show up, and you're going to find that expansive nature coming from them too. Now, if you have a reality check coming in for you this week or something that holds you back, it'll be coming probably from your roots or like your home. And that doesn't necessarily mean your house, like where, like this is my house and this is where I sleep every night. Cause work could be home for some people. Traveling could be home, but whatever is home or whatever you feel like is your foundation, your feet in the ground, that could be giving you a little bit of hesitation, because you may be thinking, well, if I take off in this direction, what can't come with me? And I think everything can come with you. It's going to come with you in a different capacity. Definitely like heed any of those warnings that you have there, any red flags. That's not a good time to ignore red flags, but it's not a good time to let them stop you from using this muse that you have. So definitely make sure that you have your to-do list checked, everything you're in order, you have a list that you feel comfortable with and an action plan, and be ready to revise it. But go forward with confidence, because you've earned this muse. You've earned this inspiration that is flowing through you in a way that hasn't flown like in a long time. It's almost like writer's block, no more in one way. Okay, so Libra, this energy, you guys for a long time have been struggling at home. I almost feel like a lot of Libras are shifting their homes this year if they haven't already, which is very healthy, because you've been going through a reconstruction, expansion, transformation, rinse, repeat, do it again at your house. And you've been trying to figure out how to make that stick. You've been trying to find a familiar balance, because once you find that balance at your roots, you're going to be able to show up in your career and, as an individual and your partnerships the way that you want to. This is coming into light for you guys this week. I think you're going to have a new hope or a new balance, or you're going to at least be able to make a plan forward to get to that point this week when you're home and your roots, which is great. Now, I think you guys are going to be, because you have this foundation that's coming into view here, what you do every day, your ritual, your work, your health, is going to improve. You're going to be very expansive, and motivated. And like, there's like a dream sitting here too, that's ready to grow in that everyday kind of thing. And what I love about this Libra is it like when you have this expansive, peaceful energy in your everyday life, it just shines through everything else because it's going to offer that balance that you're seeking. Now, if you have any trouble this week, it may come from just your local town, like where you're around. For instance, if you move to a new town, you may be trying to figure out, well, this is my grocery store, this is my bank, this is this shortcut. And it could also be that you're having trouble. You may be communicating with people who walk shoulder to shoulder with you in life, like your siblings or your neighbors, about where you're growing and what your new home and foundation is. But I think any warnings that you hear, like with all the other signs, you can definitely heed them, but don't let them stop you, because you have a process here that's helping you seek a new revolution or new. And also for Libras, it's almost like with this new home, it could be that you're transitioning from the child to the independent, or you were dependent with someone and now you're stepping into independence, or vice versa. You've been independent and now you're stepping into a partnership that's going to help you balance. So there's a lot of ways this can play out. And when you get into these touchy areas, you do have to communicate on a little bit clearly and carefully. So, say what you need to say and leave the rest of the words till later when you need to revise later down the road. Okay, Scorpio, this energy for you this week is shining around how you communicate and something that's very local to you. Now, in our world, local is not necessarily local any longer. So normally, this would be where you could travel, in a day's time. But right now, if you talk to the same people on Zoom every day or on Skype or wherever, those people are in your day-to-day community. And it's like you've been looking for your words, or you've been reconstructing, transforming, growing through how you want to communicate or what is natural and healthy for you to communicate over the past few years. And this week, there's just going to be this energy that's going to help you see, like, these are my words. This is what I need to say. This is how I need to express myself. And when you figure out how to express yourself very locally in people that you're comfortable around, you're going to be able to figure out how to express yourself expansively out into the world in a brand new way. So I'm really excited to see what Scorpios do with this energy. It's almost like the words are back, like your writer's block is gone too. Like, how do I say this and what do I need to say? And now that you have a way, you have your voice back and you're ready to speak this, Scorpios, you're going to be able to envision your dream or your company or your entrepreneurship, your children, your passions, things that would not exist without you. You're ready to see them in a new and expansive way, and you're able to communicate what needs to happen with them. So that's a great preview of what you're going to be working on as we start out 2022. So how exciting is that? Now, I think if you have a bit of a reality check or a hesitation this week, it may come around your resources. There could be a little bit of like self-doubt, like, do I have the resources I need to put behind what this communication, or how the voice I'm trying to articulate, and the passions, do I have it? And the answer is you do. You just don't know that you do. It's coming, because as soon as you work towards this passion, as soon as you lean in to everything that you feel passionate about, the resources are going to show up, and your value system is going to expand in a way that you're not ready to see yet. Or you are ready to see it, but you don't believe it. It's like one of those, like, wow, this is about to change, and how is it going to change, and what do I need to do to change? And sometimes not knowing what's on the other side of that can feel a little angsty. But I think if you trust the process and keep speaking from the heart, then the creative side of you and those ambitions and passions are going to shine through in a way that you're probably going to be just blown away by. And I can't wait to see what Scorpios do. I know so many in my life, so I'm excited for that energy for you guys. Okay, Sagittarius, you are fresh off your birthday month, embarking on a brand new year, and it's going to be a great one, I think. Now, for you, the past few years, you've been really working on what your values are and your resources. Now, obviously the truth and seeking the truth and knowledge is extremely valuable to you. And so is freedom and seeing that new horizon and understanding that perspective and, laying it all out on the table and saying, okay, this is all of it. What are we going to do with it? Now, this week, all this knowledge that you've been accumulating, any kind of resource, something that's been super valuable to you is going to get a good bright light shined on it. And you're gonna be like, okay, I remember the last time my resources hit this expansive note. I remember the last time I was passionate about this and I know what I did with it. Now I want you to think about the opportunities that you left on the table. Like, were you so focused in this one area in your life that maybe you neglected this other area? So you want to be able to take all of your resources. You want to make sure that your resources are feeding everything that's important to you, Sagittarius. I think that'll be super helpful for you. Now, any kind of reality check or fear that you have this week may just come from your identity, because you're like, I would rather be out there gaining more knowledge and truth and information. I'm ready to go to that new horizon, and which is all true, but it's time to kind of start to share it too. You're moving into a phase where you're ready to share this. And like, when you begin to share this information that you've gained, you're going to find like your home life, your roots are going to expand. Like the roots into the ground are going to go deep and expansive. And you're probably thinking, well, wait, I'm trying to get to the new horizon and not root in. But when you have strong roots, you can fly high, and you can fly high in every direction, like towards your career. You can share your knowledge and you can find different ways to communicate this. So Sagittarius, this is also great. I mean, I don't think any of the zodiac signs have something to be like really cautious about, as long as they work with the energy in a positive way and they work with an energy in a way that they want it to unfold. And that's no different from you, because it's awesome to have your resources glowing. It's awesome to have strong roots. And I think that you are going to show up the way that you need to show up in the world to express this in a beautiful way. All right, Sagittarius, have a great week. Okay, guys, that is the astrology for January 7th through the 13th. I hope you have a fantastic week and you enjoy re-envisioning and envisioning your way forward. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good one. Thank you for listening to Astrology Hub Star Sign Horoscopes. If you'd like to easily jump to your personal horoscope, sign up to get a timestamped star sign episode emailed to you each Friday. Go to astrologyhub.com/star signs and sign up now. That's astrologyhub.com/star signs.